my wonderful people, good day. It's me again, the great countryman. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Well, today I'm going to talk about these two guys, Waldy and Bully. They're from Kingston 11, Cockburn Pen, Canary Avenue, Flint Crescent, Willow Drive. All of those places, Woodpecker Avenue, Broadleaf Road, Manwood Drive. Now, these two guys here, you see right here, Waldy's on the left of your screen, Bully on the right. They are responsible. Just them alone. Like Bully is responsible for over 70 murders. And Waldy about the same. So between both of them, I would say they're responsible for 200 murders in Kingston 11, Cockburn Pen, and around the area and beyond. It's really, really, really sad. Anybody who's from Cockburn Pen or the Kingston 11 area, especially in these guys' zone where they were born and raised, is affected or was affected by their violence. I personally have a family member who's been affected by this violence. And when I say affected, I mean murder. Not no, thumping a face. You know what I'm saying? These two guys start their killing over, believe it or not, a simple argument where Bully brother keeps on fighting the young ladies them on the block. Bully call Waldy and tell him, listen, speak to your brother, tell your brother stop fighting these young, the women them. Waldy brother wouldn't listen. Bully guys then beat him up. Then Waldy called Bully and tell him, suck your mother, it's no war. With that said, it set off a war that killed Waldy father. Bully family members got killed. The guys them from Canary Avenue, that side, now form alliance with the guys them over in Section 2. We call it Gully. Or Seabright Gardens. That's right behind. The whole thing is still Cockburn Pen. They have White Wing down the street. So then you have the road them like Broadleaf Road, Manwood Drive. I'm telling you, the whole section became one set of man is Waldy, one set of man is Bully. I remember a young man got killed. And he was killed by a Bully. And believe me, he was hanging over by Silverite Gardens over on the gully. And his family them couldn't church his body over by Broadleaf Road. So even when them kill you couldn't get your body church. It was really terrible. Still is. Bully is a quiet guy. He was in America. He left America and he go to England and he made a lot of money. He was killed by Waldy, they said, alleged. Him and his brother Bully died and another man over there by LaRousse. Oh, that's Port Tennyson. That's over there on the back street. You can walk from Marcus Garvey Drive. As a matter of fact, you can walk from Woodpecker Avenue. You come down to Olympic Way. You cut cross back to Spanish Town Road. And you go all the way down and you make the right onto Marcus Garvey Drive. And Port Henderson is right up there, up the street going towards St. Catherine on the left. That's where Bully died. They said Waldy killed him, man them dress up like police and kill him and him family. And Waldy was ended up charged with that crime. Fast forward years later, Waldy went to court, he beat the crime, he left court, and was murdered out there on Mountain View buying fruits. A lot of people said police killed him, but I know that he was mixed up in the killing of this big time Indian man. I can't remember the Indian man name, something like that I sing, I think, but it's a big time Indian family in Jamaica. And they found them people are dead. And they say Waldy called himself Dons of all Dons, and Waldy killed those people. And it's alleged that Holiness, because Andrew Holiness is the member of parliament for Kingston 11. Also is Portia, but it's not Portia anymore. It's the guy who does producing with Beanie Man. I forgot what his name is. Patrick Roberts. Let me say my Batman, but I am I don't know. But yeah, Andrew called Bully in. I mean Waldy in. Sorry, Waldy, the Dons of all Dons. And I heard he told the Prime Minister, go suck his mother. So with that said they put a hit squad on him. Because for years, we know and we have heard that Jamaica government is operating a hit squad, which the man them dress up like regular people and them go and them kill the man them because it's a security threat. When you have guys like these, Waldy Bully, the Roy Fowles, the Bitty, the Wani British, comes into a neighborhood and start controlling the neighborhood because of, poverty. People pour down there. And Jamaica is with the classism. You see the young boys, them uptown, cleaning car window, Ugly Park Road, Walton Park, Ugly Park Road, uptown, at the stoplights and different parts of the city. And the government does nothing to help them. And that's how they make the money. So, yeah. So when guys like these make their money and come into these garrison neighborhood, they have the whole neighborhood on lock. But one thing always happened to them. All of them always dead. Like Waldy and Bully. And that tells you something about Jamaica and the political system and the government and the police, along with the soldier, the army. I don't want to stray too much off this topic, but yeah, with these two guys, the war went on for years, and it's still an offspring. There's still stuff going on. I personally know somebody who got killed about 4 months ago, and everything is stemming off that. So these guys, I would say, are one of Jamaica's two most infamous gangster who's responsible for over 200 murders, and you see where it got them. Straight down in the ground. And remember, when you're dead, you're gone. And when you're dead, you can't come back. Now, there's lots of rumor flying around saying that all these guys were linked with politicians and this and that, but it is really the same story, like in Rockford, like in Tel Aviv. Like, look what's going on now. Look over there in the Bronx. Them shoot up the man garage, the man having party. And the Tel Aviv man, them a war, and them a bring it go to Jamaica. No. So, yeah, there's lots of problems going on. And these two guys, even though they're gone, their legacy still lives on. They are two of Jamaica's most notorious gangsters who started a fight over bullshit, something that can be reasoned out. Did they create jobs for the people? No. Did they help anybody? No. What they do, they use the money and get people to do what they want out of fear. I remember one time we down there and on Walton Park Road, we decided, say, a friend of mine said them a go jungle. I guess Willie Agat was over there, and I didn't go because I don't like those kind of company. But they went to get some food, and Willie Agat bought the food, sent the young man to buy the food. And when the guy come back with the food, I guess he didn't like how it tastes, and he just threw the food in the man's face. I think a week later, them kill him. So, I guess the story, there's a couple different stories out of this. If you notice, all the politicians them in Jamaica live until they're old. Even the one them who's running the worst areas, like the security minister, he's from Montego Bay. And Montego Bay is one of the worst places. And I guess the guy they call the prime minister, he's running Cockburn Pen, Tower Hill, Kingston 11, and it's one of the worst places for violence. So, I mean, there's tons of studies. Everybody says it all the time. Yeah, the politician, them this, they're funding this, they're involved, they're complacent, but there's no fix to it. So until we as Jamaicans can hold these politicians really accountable, where they can experience the same things or certain things, then it's gonna be how it is. And then you have the police them trapped in the middle, because the police them work with these gangsters too. While they had police guarding him, also did bully, but them still end up dead. You understand? The only people them live forever in Jamaica is the politician them. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up. I just wanted to bring the story of two of Jamaica's most dangerous and cool murderers. Both of them dead now. Both of them dead and gone. But nothing changed. Remember, this is Countryman. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll keep the fire burning. Peace.